all present. And I would like the clerk to please call the roll. Ways and Means Committee will come to order.
Each commissioner is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Scott,
Present.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Here.
Commissioner Marecki,
Here.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Present.
Commissioner Anderson,
Here.
Vice Chair Baydoun,
Here.
Chair Varga.
Here,
You have a quorum present.
thank you.
Next item, item B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none today. We're going to keep it short.
Item C, approval of the minutes of the September 28th, 2021 meeting.
Move
So
approval.
moved.
Anderson.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone, any corrections? I should have asked. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
We're moving to item D, unfinished business. There is none. Item E1, under new business, requesting commission approval of the 2021 apportionment report in accordance with section 34 and 37 of the general property tax law.
Thank you. Mr. Mark Abel, would you please introduce our guest?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to defer to our assessor, Scott Vandermergel, or I should say Director of Equalization, Scott Vandermergel, who is on the line.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for convening today for the purpose of receiving the apportionment report. This is one of the two statutory duties of the County Commission pursuant to statute. This is the apportionment of tax rates, which is the process of directing the spread of the tax rates upon the taxable value for the property of the 43 communities within Wayne County. And this is the final step in the taxation process that perfects the tax lien of the properties in the property taxation process. So it's the final necessary step to make the taxes essentially stick to the properties, if you will, to perfect the tax lien. So the tax rate request report is the summation report, the apportionment report, that is the central document. In all the documents that are in the supplement report, where I virtually killed 105 trees, are from the 105 taxing entities that levy taxes within Wayne County. And those taxing entities each submit a report to request their tax rates. So they've been vetted, and the tax rates have been analyzed for compliance with the Headley Amendment for tax reduction purposes. And then those rates have been summarized and put into the apportionment report. And then that process would proceed on at the pleasure of this board to full board in 2 weeks pursuant to statute.
Okay, thank you. Any questions by members?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
is a motion in order?
Yes, it is, but I think Commissioner Anderson has a question first.
I don't really have a question. I can wait until we take a vote. I just wanted to ask Scott something, but it doesn't relate to this issue.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
see. Okay, yes, Madam Chair, move approval of the assessment, the apportionment report.
Thank you. Is there
Support.
support?
Support Baydoun.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, Martha G.
Martha G supported it. Please call the roll. If there are no other questions, I should have asked that before Commissioner Anderson. Pertaining to this item, anyone else needs to discuss it before we vote?
A simple question is
Sure.
compared to the tax rate assessment compared to last year or year before, it went up or down?
The county's tax rate went down very slightly. The millage reduction fraction has been 1.0 for many years. So the tax rates for the county did not change. This year, the millage reduction fraction was I believe it was 0.9976, if memory serves. So the tax rate went down by 24 10,000ths of a point. So the tax rate declined very slightly. That actually is indicative of positive economics, where the tax base is growing in excess of inflation. So that's actually a good thing that our tax rate went down. It's kind of counterintuitive to think that way, but it's actually a good thing that the tax base is actually growing and outpacing inflation. But to answer your question, sir, the tax rate went down slightly.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a quick question.
Sure. Mr.
Scott-
Baydun?
Yes, thank you. Scott, with all the real estate activities in the last 2 years, are we getting closer to the 2007 level in terms of taxes generated by the county? Or are we still a few years behind?
I have to look at the exact figure. I believe that we're at about 92%, if memory serves. I think I compiled that statistic for the equalization report back in May, so it's been a few months, so memory is slightly foggy, but I believe that we're at 92% of where we were at the peak year in 2007. So I mean, it's been quite a number of years, and going on 15 years or 15 assessment cycles since then, and we're not all the way there yet. And then along the way, I mean, not only have that many years elapsed, but then you have general price inflation for the money that we're expending along the way too. So the loss of purchasing power, coupled with the loss of value along the way during the recession, no, the taxes are not where they were. We're still potentially 8% from where we were back then. And then even if we regain that 8% by the stroke of a magic wand, what that 100% of where we were in 2007, what that would buy for the consumption of goods and services is not obviously where it was in 2007. It's something less than that.
Yeah, I know in Dearborn, we're about 82 or 85% of where we were in 2007. I know there's 2 or 3 cities in Wayne County where they have surpassed the 2007 level. If I'm not mistaken, Plymouth is one of them. In Northville, possibly. I could be wrong, but thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, I think some of I think the Plymouth and Northville areas, I think you're right. I think the Plymouth and Northville cities and townships, potentially in Canton Township, I could pull the report out and take a look specifically. But the faster growing communities and the ones sort of concentrated right in that area are the ones that are in excess of 100% of where they were. So that's definitely correct. But generally everywhere else is something less than where they were back then. I mean, I think there are a couple that maybe have tipped over 100% very slightly, but by and large, everyone is operating at something less than where they were, 15 assessment cycles ago.
Okay, I'm working as hard as I can to make it to that level, okay?
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is Mark Gabel. If I might comment on that, I was just able to look up the numbers that Scott had supplied us earlier.
Sure.
In 07, our number was $414 million. 2021, we're at $354 million. So we still haven't made it up.
Yeah.
And that's just the current year. So, I mean, you have that much of a gap times that many years cumulatively. I mean, that's just a staggering amount of money that we've been without for that many years. And we've successfully run county government for that many years with that much of a gap in where we were. So, I mean, that's an impressive testament to the austerity measures that have allowed things to continue on. But it's definitely not terribly close at this point. I mean, it'll take a couple more cycles.
Madam Chair, to that point, I had a quick
Sure.
question. Scott, we're not really seeing at this point the increase in property sales from last year, correct?
Yes and no. The jury is sort of out on commercial industrial side of things, largely as you might expect as a result of COVID and how that plays out in certain occupancies. For instance, the hospitality market for hotels, things like that. restaurants, just the types of occupancies that you might expect that suffer because of COVID and how that would play out in lease rates and occupancy. On the residential side, I mean, not only has the market not suffered, but it has really excelled. It's really even outpaced where it was even in the last couple of years where it was already super hot. It's hotter than ever. The market has really done tremendously well in the residential class. But no, on the commercial side of things, particularly, it's occupancy specific. I mean, there's some occupancies that will continue on regardless, but others where there are things like, obviously in the business community, if they're conducting virtual meetings, people aren't doing business travel, so they're not staying in hotels and going to conventions. So that side of things, it would suffer. So a community where Detroit is an example, or potentially Livonia, where there are hotels, that type of thing would have an effect on the average daily rate for hotels and occupancy, things like that.
I guess maybe I didn't state my question clearly. I was talking about the increase in individual home sales, single family homes that was last year has not translated into additional tax collection yet. Is that not correct? Because there's a lag time.
Oh, well, I mean, there would typically be a 24-month sales study, and that study even trails by 9 months from the status day up for taxes. So there's always trailing data that precedes the current assessment year. So, I mean, if the question is sort of indirectly, are we capturing COVID data in our sales study and how is that playing out in taxes? We're capturing a portion of it. And it hasn't all been sort of, baked in or factored in, if you will, into the actual assessments, because it's a moving target, and that moving target has just started to dip into the COVID period of time in March 2020, and it's now into it. So that'll start to be evident in the new assessments for 2022 in 4, 5, or 6 months from now.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, just a quick comment to that point.
Sure.
The property value in Wayne County year over year increased about 6%, and in the state it was 10%. So we're 6% year over year in terms of increase in property value in Wayne County.
Good.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Baydoun,
Yes.
Chair Varga.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Moving
Thank
to
you all.
item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Under this, Commissioner Anderson, you wanted to ask some questions of Scott?
Yeah, I don't know if Scott's still there. I don't see
I'm
him.
here. I'm here.
Are you? Okay.
I was hiding for a minute.
I don't know. I recently heard a historical fact. Now, the source, I don't know if it's reliable, but that copper wiring was invented in Holland. And I don't know if you're aware of that or if you ever heard that story. That and was apparently from two Dutchmen stretching a penny. I don't know.
I've heard the story about the buffalo nickels and pinching the nickel hard enough to make the buffalo squeal. That's where that comes from.
Oh, thank you. That's all I had.
A little humor is always under consideration during such times. That was cute. Thank you. Anyone else? Come on, you guys know how to joke, so want to tell another one, Sam?
I don't have one at this moment, no.
Okay, well, think of one for next time. Maybe we'll start a tradition under such other matters.
Okay.
Alrighty. In that case, Madam Clerk, next on the agenda.
Item G, public comments, and everyone has been asked to unmute themselves.
Any emails?
Oh,
No email.
Madam Chair. Oh, God.
Did we get any emails?
No emails have been received.
Thank you.
Madam
Um,
Chair.
Yes,
Okay, just before we adjourn, I just forgot to mention something under other matters. I apologize.
okay, we're under public comments right now. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I don't know if Mark is on, but wanted to just follow up as relates to the amendment that, that I talked about regarding the Port Authority last month. If Mark was able to follow up with the CFO and we put in the budget amendment or budget adjustment, whatever the terminology is.
I will be doing that, Commissioner. I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Under public comments, anyone from the public wishing to comment? Anyone from the public wishing to comment? You have a minute. Anyone from the public wishing to comment? I hear none. Next item, please.
Item H, adjournment.
So
Move to
moved.
adjourn, Anderson.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
Week.